everyone, welcome to my channel. Here is Wei. I'm a second-year student studying in Imperial College, London. In this video, I'm going to show you how I found my room for my second-year study and some tips for student accommodation haunting in central London. I am currently living in a flat with my friends that is just 10 minutes walk from my department. As I mentioned in my previous video, Imperial College only offers student halls for first-year undergraduate students, so that's why I'm now ending up living in a private accommodation. I started thinking about room haunting since the spring term of first year, but before I started looking up rooms, I listed a few prior requirements for my accommodation. First of all, it should be within walking distance to my department and less than 20 minutes walk. Secondly, according to my budget, the weekly rental should be less than £230. And the third, it would be a private room for myself and it would be spacious. These requirements acted as a guideline when I started hunting, and I only considered rooms that satisfied the list. After all, you will find that you might ending up in a room that you have to make some compromises, according to the condition of the place or your flatmate's needs. But the list could be your baseline that wouldn't be bothered, and you can still get a decent room that satisfies your needs. If you prefer living in a shared flat, as I do, finding friends that you know well to start flat hunting would be a good idea, and it also cuts the cost each person would pay. Last year around January, I asked a few friends who would like to seek for a shared flat together. It is very important to consider their preferences, such as their type of flat, room conditions, and their budget, etc. And it is also very important to know their living habit or routine, whether those aspects will fit with your living preferences and your living style, since these are the person you are going to live with for at least a whole year. For example, my flatmates are now all from my department, and we used to hang out together a lot. They are people who love to keep things clean and organized like me. We are a combo of 2 boys and 2 girls, which forms a nice dynamic, and we can help each other out. We live well together as if we are a family. If you are a couple, please also think carefully about whether living together or not. I personally think it might not be ideal, even though it sounds romantic living together. The reality is there is a lot to cope with when living together, such as different habits and different routines, and unfortunately if one day the relationship is broken, it might be very awkward to still see each other in the same flat every day or even sharing the same bed every day. And if you do prefer living together, keeping good communication will be crucial. To be fair, having some distance in a relationship and have some private space for both of you bring back the beauty of love, and it would be more sustainable for a relationship. Once I found the friends to go with, I had a group chat where we share information of the potential properties we found. You can go on to online platforms such as Rightmove, Zoopla, OpenRent, On the Market, and so many others. I will link their pages down below. Once you go onto their website, fill in your location and your preferences, then you can scroll down and pick the ones you like. It is important to check the detailed information such as floor plan, facilities, and the bills, which could be included or excluded from the rental fee. You will also see the contact info of the property so that you can ask for more details and room visiting. You can also Google the property agencies around your area and visit their office. The agencies could ask for your preferences, such as how many bedrooms and bathrooms you would like, price per person, duration of renting, etc. And they will ask for your contact, so when they have properties available, they could notify you through emails. There is a lot of things to consider when picking a location of your accommodation, such as the distance to campus, supermarkets around, transportation, the safety of the district, etc. Many of my friends living around Imperial College stays in areas such as the Queensgate, Cromwell Road, Earls Court, Evelyn Garden, etc. These are places within walking distance to Imperial College and mostly with big supermarkets nearby. The area also considered with good security in central London. I personally value the distance to campus the most. The reason of me choosing close to campus properties is that I don't want to spend extra money and time on transport, especially in central London. The traffic in rushing hours is awful. Buses would be stuck in the middle of the road. The London tube lines are sometimes not punctual or being cancelled because of maintenance or strikes, and there would be too many people trapped in the station. These are uncontrollable factors, and they would delay your time to school or possibly your attendance. Some people also cycle to school, but just be careful of the safety on the traffic and bad weather. The weather in London changes a lot. It could be sunny in the morning and suddenly water pouring at noontime. It's quite windy and it rains a lot. In winter time, it gets dark around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it might not be comfortable cycling home in the dark with the weather and traffic. Having your flat nearby also means you can access the campus facilities easily in your free time, such as the library, the gym, and places for your society events, and you will save a lot of time because of it. After we found a few properties online, we contacted the landlord and the agency for flat visiting. If situation is allowed, I would recommend seeing those properties in person and could ask for comments from students who currently live there. Since what we saw from photos was actually different from how we felt in the rooms, things like the noises, the mild vibration from the underground, and the lighting of the rooms, etc. However, since the city is under lockdown now, please stay home and stay safe. Recently, some platforms online allow online visiting, which means videos of which room in the property will be shown to you. You could also check that out. When viewing the flat, you might want to think about how it would fit you and your flatmates in everyday life. For example, check out whether the kitchen space is large enough if you guys prefer to cook at home rather than eat out, whether there's a large fridge for storing food, enough stove for cooking at the same time. Last year, my friends and I didn't realize that we would be crowded in the small kitchen, so that quite often we had to wait for the person cooking at the evening. But we have a decent large fridge which we separated a section for each person so that it serves well for us. 4 of us share the same bathroom in this flat, which also made our flat less pricey than the others in the same building. It works quite well for most of the time since we normally have different routine of showering. It might be better if we could have 2 bathrooms, but again, this is one of the compromises we made to fit our budget. Most of the properties come with a living room with sofa and dining table. The living room could be a large portion of the total area of the flat. It really depends on whether you and your friends need social space or not. It is important to have good contact with everyone and have places to chill and to cheer up for parties. However, you can think of it particularly according to your lifestyle. In our case, social space was not the priority. Most of the time we were busy doing work in our room and not necessarily need a living room. The flat originally came with 3 bedrooms and a living room. We negotiated with the agency and they helped us transform the living room into an additional bedroom. This means each person pays less by fitting 4 of us into this property instead of 3. My friend living in the transformed bedroom sometimes shares his room when we eat together or when we have parties. It worked well for us. There are other things you might want to consider, such as whether there is a washing machine and a dryer, whether the maintenance has quick response, and whether the landlord allows change of furniture, etc. Make sure you chat with your friends about these things and know each other's opinions. By knowing what all of you want, you will have a clearer communication with the property agency and avoid troubles in the future. Sometimes agencies won't tell you the extra fees of things they help doing until you sign the contract. So make sure to ask the details of each service they provide and read the contract carefully before you sign it. You can also ask students from your senior years what agencies they contacted that were trustworthy, and you will have a good list to go. I hope you've got some ideas about flat hunting in central London and hope you can find a decent place for your study life. If you would like to know how I shift an empty room into a space that fits my living and tips for interior arrangement, don't forget to check out my room tour video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumb up and subscribe to my channel. More content of study, lifestyle, creative art is coming.